defend that goal. All right, put your backs around this way.
Hello once again, everyone, and welcome to Louisiana Superdome for the AA State Championship between the Haynesville Golden Tornadoes and as well the DeQuincy Tigers here from the Louisiana Superdome. I'm Gerald Duhon along with Renee Nato. And Renee, we've got a stellar matchup tonight between these Haynesville Golden Tornadoes and the DeQuincy Tigers.
For the black-clad Tornado, Bobby Raytel, number 4, over 2,000 yards on the season, 4.4 speed. What a weapon he is for the Golden Tornado.
And as well for DeQuincy, there's a young man named Roosevelt McCoy, a running back. He's carried their squad this year offensively.
Number 12 for the white-cladded DeQuincy team, DeQuincy Tigers. He's made all-district on offense and defense for the last 2 years.
Well, we're just a couple of minutes away from kickoff here, Renee, as things are getting set to take place on the field for tonight's AA State Championship, the 15th Classic here at the Superdome, the 15th annual, and it's a spectacle at that, with all 5 teams coming here into the Superdome to do battle and decide on their state championships. And of course, AA will kick things off for 1995. As you mentioned, DeQuincy will be clad in white with gray jerseys. For Haynesville, black jerseys, gold numerals, and gold piping on the trousers. Haynesville will be moving from our right to our left to begin this game. They'll be kicking off to DeQuincy. And one of the best ways to control the Haynesville offense is to keep them off the field, and that's what DeQuincy's going to attempt to do tonight. Is their offense led by Jared Anderson, the quarterback, Roosevelt McCoy, one of the halfbacks, and Keith Dixon, the other halfback. Will try to control the ball and get things going on the right foot. That is Keith Dixon. He is back deep to receive for the Tigers, and we are set to go and get underway. It's a squib kick that's taken by an up back, fake on the reverse, and finally handed off to the last moment. DeQuincy bringing the opening kickoff up the field. Jonathan Armstead with that return, and it'll be 1st and 10 for DeQuincy.
Two teams that are very, very similar, have some weapons offensively. DeQuincy, both teams have the opportunity to score at will, and you got a good look there at the quarterback for DeQuincy, Jared Anderson.
1st and 10, Anderson brings them up to the line. Slot on the right-hand side. He'll hand the ball off on a counter over the left-hand side to his fullback, DeAndre Millette. The senior will surge forward for a 4, and it'll be 2nd down and 6.
Well, that's a tough kind of guy. Not real big, 5'6", 175 pounds, a senior. Got a good look at the DeQuincy offense right there. Tight end Frederick Gentry is a guy you may want to keep an eye on. Bertrand, Mercantile, Hooks, Leday, and Blewett.
Early motion on the left side of the DeQuincy line. Will unravel this one. As DeQuincy normally offensively will bring out 2 tight ends and 3 running backs. Illegal procedure is the call against DeQuincy. That'll cost them 5, and it'll be 2nd down and 11. For the DeQuincy Tigers, starting across the front, Chris Blewett, Corey Leday, Troy Hooks, Matthew Marcantel, and Jared Bertrand, your offensive line. 2nd and long. Pass thrown out in the flat, broken up, almost picked off. Nice defensive play by Tony Critton, the left cornerback on that play. He had nothing but green turf in front of him if he'd be able to come down with it.
And the senior, 5'10", 195, Critton played it very, very well. Stepped just where he needed to. He just couldn't get a hand on the ball, and perhaps he was running before he had a handle on the ball. But Critton made a good play, and Jared Anderson doesn't pass very much. He's the throwing quarterback. They play a 2-quarterback system. Jared Anderson, you see a little bit of number 2, Keith LeBlanc, will enter the game, a sophomore, very shortly.
3rd and long, wideouts left and right. Toss sweep on the right-hand side. Halfback option, tossing the ball deep down the field. Jump ball around to 30, and DeQuincy comes down with it. Down at the 28-yard line. Frederick Gentry streaking down the sidelines, coming down with that ball. It'll be a first down for DeQuincy.
And Joe, that's one thing that the Haynesville Golden Tornado defense is very aware of, that tight end Frederick Gentry, a 6'6", 215-pound prospect. Got a good look at him right there. And Roosevelt McCoy laid it out just where he needed to, caught it, and it's a big first down inside the 30-yard line. DeQuincy with a great opportunity early here in the first quarter.
A pickup of 29. First and 10. Motion right to left. The Haynesville defense, I should say, adjust. Flags on the play. Will be whistled did around the 21. Roosevelt McCoy with the carry.
Good look at Keithan LeBlanc right there, and he's part of that two-quarterback system, a sophomore. He's the running quarterback, and of course, Jared Anderson is the passing quarterback. Number one, looks like it's going to be stepped off against the DeQuincy Tigers. So the play comes back and assessed with a penalty.
It'll be a legal procedure against DeQuincy. And they'll repeat first down. Anderson barking the signals. Counter play left-hand side, struggling on the inside. Tough running room for Roosevelt McCoy as he's stacked up and met by the teeth of the Haynesville defense and driven backwards. Let's set the rest of that DeQuincy offense for you. Jared Anderson is your quarterback. Frederick Gentry and Nakoma Doyle, your tight ends. Roosevelt McCoy, DeAndre Millette, and Keith Dixon, your running backs. We'll set the Haynesville defense in just a moment.
Slammed the door in the last play from McCoy. That was Bobby Raytell, and Marcus Livingston slamming the door for very little gain.
Second and long. Anderson unable to elude the nice penetrating tackle of Bobby Raytell, the weak inside linebacker. He drops him right there. Let's check that Haynesville defense. Demetric Evans, Roynell Bean, Marcus Livingston, and Nick Harris across the front. Jonathan Jones, Chris Weaver, Bobby Raytell, your backers. Tony Critton, Marcus Brown, your cornerbacks. Jeffrey Metters and Marcus Hudson, your safeties.
This Haynesville defense, only 17 interceptions on the campaign, giving up only 9 points an average throughout the season and the playoffs.
Toss over the middle is complete to Frederick Gentry. He is well short of the first down as he's dropped around the 29-yard line. Critton and Tell converging for the stop.
I guess getting a good look at Frederick Gentry. He's not only a good football player, 6'6", 215, he's also an all-district basketball player. Good blocker, he knows what to do after the catch, and he finished 6th in the state in the high hurdle. So what an athlete he is. He's going to make someone a great tight end on the next level.
Guy Robertson in to attempt a field goal. Snap is back, and the effort is well short. Bounding at the 15, it's picked up by Haynesville. Driven out of bounds at the 22 is Jeffrey Metters, and so the Golden Tornado offense will get their first crack as DeQuincy runs out of downs.
Good look at Jeffrey Metters, if that name rings a bell. Jeffrey Metters is the cousin of J.J. Metters of the Arkansas Razorbacks. His dad played at Northwest Louisiana. He also had an Uncle Johnny, played defensive end. So he comes from a football family, Jeffrey Metters.
Haynesville offense, Jonathan Jones, your tight end. Demetric Evans, Nick Harris, Mac Reeder, Marcus Livingston, and Roynell Bean. Check your offensive line. Handoff on the counter. Guess who? Bobby Raytell. Look at him go. Across the 40. Driven just short of the 45-yard line, and that's the explosion that Bobby Raytell will bring you. A pickup of 20 yards.
Good run by Bobby Raytell. Good look at the offense right there. Hudson Critton, Critton, Thomas, Raytell, and Metters. And Bobby Raytell exhibited that 4.4 speed. Shows why he had 34 touchdowns on the season, averaging, Gerald, 11.8 yards per tote. He's got a lot of schools looking at him. We'll talk more about it as the game goes on.
First and 10 for Haynesville. Movement early across the front of the DeQuincy line. We'll wait for the officials to unravel it down below. Encroachment is the call against DeQuincy, so Haynesville will enjoy a 1st and 5.
Premature movement by the interior line. Got a couple of brothers there for DeQuincy, defensive tackles Michael Scott and Leonard Scott. Leonard, the younger of the two, a 6'1", 250-pound sophomore, and he's one of the bigger defensive linemen for the Tigers.
Single wide out on the left-hand side. Motion now, right to left with the split backfield. Tell on the right-hand side, picking his holes, puncturing midfield, and churning down to the 46-yard line. He'll be close to another tornado 1st down. The DeQuincy defense, your defensive ends, Elijah Morgan and Cicero Heckard. Your tackles, Michael Scott, Leonard Scott, and Jason Wilson, anchoring the Tiger D, which so far this year has averaged surrendering 12 points a game to help account for their 12-2 record and bring them to the Superdome for the state championship. This time fullback Metters gets the call, and he's dropped immediately, but he had less than a yard to go for the 1st down. We'll see how close he gets the interior of that Tiger line collapsing. Your DeQuincy secondary, Keithan LeBlanc, Jonathan Armstead, Keith Dixon, and Frederick Gentry, rounding out the secondary.
It's going to be close here for a 1st down. Yeah, Metters might have picked it up. Good run. Metters, you know, he's that 6 foot, 180-pound fullback. Tell gets most of the attention, as we mentioned. 34 touchdowns, 2,055 yards. The measurement looks like it may be a little bit short, probably about a foot.
So it'll be 3rd down and short. Haynesville operating with their opening possession of this AA state championship. DeQuincy missed a field goal for their opening possession. Scoreless here with 6:21 left in the 1st quarter. Third and less than a yard to go. Tell, right side. He's got the 1st down, trying to pop it outside. He's dragged down from behind on a nice open field tackle by Frederick Gentry, the free safety, coming up to make the stop, but the chains will move.
And a good look at Tell right there. Powerfully built, 5'8", 180 pounds. And Gerald, he negotiates the 40 in 4.4 seconds. Some of the schools looking at him: Tulane, Arkansas, Texas A&M, Louisiana Tech, Northwest Louisiana, Northeast, and McNeese. LSU showed some early interest, but has since backed off. He's going to make someone an excellent running back. He reminds me a little bit of a guy who came through here back in the early 70s, Kenny Jackson, who played later at LSU. He played for Haynesville in the early 70s.
Counter play to Quinton on the right-hand side, the wing back, and he's dropped for a loss in the backfield as DeQuincy had excellent penetration from the left-hand side of their defensive line.
Those defensive ends, Heckard and Elijah Morgan, are really tough to run against. Elijah Morgan especially, Gerald, 4.6 speed. He's got 6 sacks on the season, so he's the quickest on the team. He plays bigger than he really is, only 185 pounds, number 36 for DeQuincy. Outside linebacker, defensive end, and Heckard. Those are really 2 tough bookend guys that you don't get much yardage against.
Thomas looking at 2nd and 13. He'll hand the ball off on the inside, churning inside of the 40. Will be Metters. And Metters is a 1,000-yard rusher this season. Renee, you're right. You talk a lot about Bobby Raytell, over 2,000 yards, but Metters with over 1,000 this year. And Tell, Metters, and Tony Critton, the wingback, they were all here last year for Haynesville state championship run last year.
Something could be said for familiarity. Metters with 1,260 yards, 15 touchdowns, so he's not chopped liver either. Tell is the main bell cow, but I'll tell you what, Brian Thomas, that quarterback, does an outstanding job. Good look at him right there.
Counter, left-hand side, Tell with some running room, trying to operate. Will be dropped short of the 30-yard line. Pickup of a couple, so it'll be 4th and a healthy 5, Renee. And let's see what Alton Rid Franklin will do. Well, actually, they're spotting it a little bit closer, so it'll be 4th down and a long 1, or maybe a short 2. Of course, Red Franklin, the longtime coach of the Haynesville Golden Tornado, 29 years, coming into this ball game with a record of 296, 64 and 8.
Good seal block right there, allows Tell to get outside. He runs right over number 20, Jonathan Armstead, before he's finally brought to the surface. Good tackle by Roosevelt McCoy.
And with 4th and 2, Haynesville will go for it. Tell will try it on the right-hand side. He's got the first down and more as he breaks across the 20. Down to the 14-yard line goes Bobby Raytel before Keithan LeBlanc finally hauls him down. A 16-yard pickup for Bobby Raytel.
And that was a touchdown-saving tackle by LeBlanc. Had he not made the stop on Tell, he was touchdown bound with 3 minutes and 36 seconds to go here in the first stanza. Still no score, but the Golden Tornado are knocking on the door inside the 20.
Down to the DeQuincy 16.
And you see Tell right here putting his nose up, squaring his shoulder pads, and he just hits the sideline, breaks a tackle right here by Roosevelt McCoy, and Keithan LeBlanc needs to make a touchdown-saving tackle right here.
Metters, left-hand side. We'll get down to about the 11-yard line before Roosevelt McCoy makes the stop. One of the things you have to like about this Haynesville team, Renee, is the offensive line and the way they block. They counter very well, and they're all on the same page.
Good pulling guard right here. Demetric Evans coming from the right side, leading his charge for Metters and company. And yes, Evans, Harris, Reeder, Livingston, and Bean doing an outstanding job for the running backs of Haynesville.
2nd down and 4. Handoff to Tell, who will get inside the 10, make it down to the 9, call it a gain of 2. Tell enjoying a stellar performance here last year in Haynesville's 51-3 romp over Loyola. He only carried the ball 11 times, came up with 159 yards and 2 touchdowns, Renee, and that 51-3 count, well, that was the most ever. The biggest margin of victory in a AA game and the 2nd largest margin of victory in any state final game. You have to go way back to 1942, a Class B game, Landry over Arcadia 58-0, the only larger margin than Haynesville's state championship win last year. 3rd and 3 for Haynesville. Metters with the call straight up the middle, and I do not think he got the first down.
Looked like he was stopped short. In fact, credit Heckard, the right defensive end, with making the stop there on Metters. But they're just pounding away at that Tiger defense. And Haynesville does have the size with Demetric Evans, 225, and you got Ronell Bean at 280, 6 foot, 280 pounds. He's an all-district performer. Number 74, left tackle for the Golden Tornado.
4th down and a long 2. Haynesville trying to convert to keep the drive alive. Pitch out, Tell, left-hand side. He's got the first down, looking for the end zone, and he's bumped out just shy. Down to the 1-yard line goes Bobby Raytel, and Haynesville converts their 2nd consecutive 4th down play on this opening drive of the AA state championship game.
Good call by Coach Red Franklin. Good quick pitch to Bobby Raytel. Gets him outside, possesses that excellent speed. Tough to stop as he turns the corner. And he's got a first down, and they're inside the 3-yard line.
1st and goal. Full house backfield for quarterback Thomas. Handoff on the left-hand side to Critton, and he is into the end zone for the touchdown. Tony Critton, the wingback, taking the handoff from quarterback Brian Thomas. And with 1:08 left in the first quarter, the Tornado goes on top of the Tigers 6-0 here from the Superdome.
That was just an inside handoff to Critton, and he didn't have much to do as far as carrying the ball. But he's a good blocker, does just an outstanding job. Inside handoff, gets the Golden Tornado on the board. 6-0, extra point is good. So with 1:08 to go here in the first period, Haynesville leads 7-0. You see an inside handoff right here, following his blockers. Good crease, spin move right here into the end zone, and that's tough to block. What a surge the Haynesville offensive front had, and puts the Golden Tornado up 7-0.
Haynesville punctures the end zone first. Tony Critton going across the end line, and it's 7-0 Tornado.
And yes, they did an impressive job offensively. 13 plays, 77 yards, Bobby Raytell. And you see the final play, the nail in the coffin right here. The final drive, handing off to Critton. He follows his blockers. Good block right there by number 4, Bobby Raytell. Also number 74, Bean. So it was a 13-play drive. See the kickoff, 77 yards, 7:52 off the clock. And Bobby Raytell had 62 yards on opening drive, Joe.
That's called possession. The squib kick coming down, and DeQuincy's able to hold on to it, and out will trot quarterback Jared Anderson for the Tigers' second possession. Ball will be spotted at the Tiger 34-yard line.
DeQuincy has some weapons. They can strike from anywhere. We'll talk more about. They play that double wing. They play a little eye sometimes, so DeQuincy can make some noise here offensively.
Confusion in the backfield as Anderson hands the ball off to Roosevelt McCoy. He'll squeeze one, maybe two, out of the stingy Tornado defense. Marcus Livingston, 5'11", 205 junior, collapsing for the stop. And it will be a gain of 1, 2nd and 9.
Got a good look at number 64 there, Chris Weaver. Weaver, only 5'10", 160 pounds, but he's a middle linebacker. He's the Mike guy. He's always there. He blends in. He's got 4.8 speed. He's a good linebacker, and he really fits in that Golden Tornado defense.
Double wing again, single back, in motion. No one behind. Quarterback LeBlanc, who will keep the ball and pick up one, not much more, as the first quarter will draw to a close with the Tornado on top of the Tigers, 7-0 here in this AA state championship game from the Louisiana Superdome.
Team is on the field, our medics will be there just in case. Every weekend we'll be standing by at 100 high school and college football games. Acadian Ambulance and Air Med Services, looking after the ones you love.
As an employee-owned company, every day we are acquiring ownership in Acadian Ambulance.
And every day we work harder to make the service even better.
We all try to do more than the job requires.
Because it's our company and our community.
And we want to give our best to both.
We're grateful for the opportunity to serve.
And for the acceptance the people we serve have given us.
Teaching community services is a big part of our business. We appreciate you entrusting your family to ours.
Third down and 8 for DeQuincy. Quarterback Anderson stands in the pocket, feeling some pressure in the grass. Ball comes loose, but it's whistled dead right there. Credit Marcus Livingston pouring through and grabbing the jersey of Jared Anderson, hauling him down from behind.
First quarter stats, DeQuincy can only muster 41 yards, 2 rushing, 39 passing. Haynesville 75 yards, and of course, they own the scoreboard right now, 7-0 as we begin the second quarter. Haynesville over DeQuincy.
4th and 7, and with that, Corey Carter, who kicked for a 35-yard average last week, and DeQuincy's win over Northeast to put him here into the dome, will stand at his own 22. Low, wobbly kick. They'll bounce at the 30 and take a big DeQuincy Tiger roll all the way inside the 10. Still rolling and going down to the 8-yard line. A 57-yard punt.
With a generous roll. Outstanding job. DeQuincy gets themselves out of a big hole, puts Haynesville in a pretty big hole, deep inside their own territory at the 8-yard line, and they have a long way to go for a score, but you see DeQuincy talking to their players right there. Good look at Keith Bonin, the head coach of DeQuincy High.
Clock rolling, 11:32 left until halftime, 7-0. Haynesville on top of DeQuincy. Quarterback Thomas calling for the ball. He'll hand it off. Slashing through is fullback Metters, carrying tacklers with him. Keith and LeBlanc and Roosevelt McCoy, the first to grab on, but it's not before Metters hashes out a gain of 16, and the chains will move once again.
Metters really got some, you know, he doesn't get the credit that he justifiably deserves. Bobby Ray Tell, of course, the bell cow there, but Metters is going to make someone. He could play at the next level. He's being looked at by Arkansas and a lot of the state schools, McNeese, Northeast Louisiana, Louisiana Tech, and such. So he will play on the next level.
Slot left in motion. Pitch out, Tell, right-hand side. He'll elude the first tackler, but not the second. Leonard Scott in the middle of that defensive line, scurrying out to drop Bobby Ray after a 6-yard gain.
Scott kind of gives him a chop to the back. You can see it right here. A quick pitch to Bobby Ray Tell as he stopped right here, and Scott, bang, gives him a good shot to the back. Scott's only a sophomore. He's going to get better. He's gotten better every game, and he's going to be one good defensive lineman before he leaves here.
Of course, at this point of the season, Renee, those sophomores playing like juniors. They've got a whole year of experience. Metters on the delay, right-hand side. He'll crash across the 40 and pick up another Tornado first down. Weak inside linebacker Roosevelt McCoy will ride him down. A gain of 13.
Just good movement, good shifting right there, good eyes. You can see Metters right here. Watch, he's following his eyes. Good cuts of a block here. Puts on the brakes, cuts back. Of course, that Superdome surface allows you to do things like that, but good vision on a back, and that's most important. I'd take a back with good vision over someone with exceptional speed who doesn't know what to do with it, and Metters knows what to do with his abilities.
1st and 10. Mix up in a backfield, and quarterback Thomas is forced to eat the ball as Elijah Morgan, the 6'0", 185-pound senior, pours through and drops the quarterback for a 6-yard loss. 2nd and 16.
Brian Thomas was trying to run a naked bootleg right here, but he couldn't fool Elijah Morgan. Couldn't break containment right here. Elijah Morgan, as we mentioned, he has 6 sacks. That's sack number 7 on the season. 4.6 speed. You don't get around number 36 very often.
Seemed like at the beginning of that play, too, that Renee quarterback Thomas got a little mixed up in the backfield before he could roll out. May have slowed the development of the play. Handoff Metters, left-hand side this time. Will be stopped at the line, so it'll be 3rd down and long for the Tornado offense that does not throw an awful lot. Only 3 times last week. Thomas completing 1 pass for 24 yards.
You got a 5-man front for DeQuincy, Gerald, and there's some variations. They may move people around. Scott, Michael Scott, Leonard Scott, and Jason Wilson, the inside guys, they may take a slant or two, and I think one of those stunts or slants may have altered Metters' play where he was supposed to get the ball probably over center, made him go a little bit wider than he wanted to, which called for a stop and a long, short gain.
Metters will get the call. Big hole across the 40, turning across midfield. He'll be close to a 1st down, but just shy. Roosevelt McCoy making the stop, but close enough to think about going for it on 4th down.
Well, this is a good handoff right here, but watch the blocking. You see number 74 right here. That's Bean leading the charge. He's pulling, and you're just not going to bring Metters down with an arm tackle. He's breaking a number of them here. He brings Roosevelt McCoy, gives him a ride close to the 1st down, and it was a pretty good carry he had. Shows he's got a lot of strength in those legs, and it's going to be 4th and short, about a yard to go, Gerald.
Being 280 pounds, you see that guy leading the charge. Look out. Everybody in tight. Tell, left-hand side, very close to the 1st down. Stiffly met right at the marker. It'll be a case of where the officials spot the ball. Frederick Gentry flying up from his free safety spot.
And you see this kid Bean running. I tell you, he needs license plates on the front. But you see handoff to Bobby Ray Tell following Metters. And he's getting met right here. Bang, crash right there in the hole. And if he does not make it, you can credit a great defensive effort on the right side of DeQuincy with halting his progress.
And it is a 1st down by the length of the football. The 3rd 4th down conversion tonight for the Haynesville Tornado. Some teams don't go for it 3 times in a season. Haynesville's gone forward 3 times in this half with 7:25 left in the half. Tornado owning a 7-0 lead over the DeQuincy Tigers.
Brian Thomas, one of the captains for Haynesville.
Ryan Hammond split out on the right-hand side. Handoff, counter, left-hand side. Marcus Brown, the wingback, will move it forward 1 yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Michael Scott making the stop. An outstanding decade these Haynesville Tornadoes have had, Renee. 83-2 in the 90s. Only 2 losses. One to Welsh back in 92, and West Monroe, the year West Monroe won the 5A state championship over Destrehan here at the Dome.
This team doesn't throw much, but when they do throw, look for Marcus Hudson or Tony Critton at a wingback to be in the receiving end of one of those passes.
2nd and 9. Counter, Tell, right side, pop, but he'll fall forward for 6. And you're right about the passing of the Tornado. Talking to some of the coaches during the week, they said we'll pass some, but primarily passing long to loosen up the defense and set up the run. You have outstanding runners like Tell and Metters and Critton as well that can step up.
Coach Franklin, good look at, he's been around the block a few times, and he's brought some excellent teams to the Superdome. He's no stranger to this classic.
Tell on 3rd down, big hole through the offensive line. He picks up the 1st down and twirls his way down to the 30, and the chains will move again. A pickup of 11 for that senior running back, Bobby Ray Tell.
Kind of surprising that LSU has backed off, but we mentioned Tulane, Arkansas, and a number of schools are still interested in the senior, 5'8", 180 pounds. He's got a lot of ability, very similar to Jamaican Dartez, who now plays for the Tulane Green Wave. Good size line across the front. 71, Demetric Evans, 6'3", 225, and his bookend, of course, we mentioned Roynell Bean, a 6 foot, 280-pound all-district offensive tackle.
Metters, left-hand side. He'll have a hole. Crashes his way down to the 25.
When you run behind Bean and Livingston, you got quite a hole right there. Livingston not as big, 205, but good tandem blocking on the left side allows you got a good look at Bean right there. Good blocking up front, but also good ball handling by Brian Thomas allows those holes to open. And I tell you, this is a well-oiled machine, the Haynesville Golden Tornado offense.
And they're using ball control offense here in the Superdome. All kind of movement as one of the DeQuincy players knifes through. Michael Scott coming through. Check that, looked like Corey Leday. He will be dead ball foul encroachment against DeQuincy. With 4:42 left until halftime, and Haynesville owning a 7-0 lead. Renee, we've only had 2 possessions for each team through almost 2 quarters of football.
Yes, Haynesville's won the game with the clock, eating up over 7 minutes in his opening drive to score in the first quarter.
That penalty, good for a Haynesville 1st down. They'll put it in play from their own 20. Bobby Raytell operating at the 10, operating at the 5, and surgically, methodically moves his way down to the 2-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal, a pickup of 19. Keith Dixon and Keithan LeBlanc have to finally drag down the senior running back short of the goal line.
And that's not a good sign when your defensive backs are your leading tacklers on your team. Bobby Raytell shows great moves, great vision. Boy, he's got that flash and dash, but he's also got that power. Only 180 pounds, but he's breaking a lot of tackles. You can see right here, he cuts back, breaks a tackle right here, still moving, doesn't even break his stride, and is not easy to take this guy down. What a ride he gives to Keithan LeBlanc, down, knocking on the door on the 2-yard line.
Tell will try to finish off the previous play and will get met stiffly and dropped for a 2-yard loss. Frederick Gentry, the free safety, flying up, supporting the run very well is Gentry. And Haynesville will spend a timeout and talk about it. 3:45 left until halftime. Tornado on top of the Tigers, 7-0 right now. The ball resting at the DeQuincy 4-yard line. The Tornado trying to add to its 7-point advantage here in this AA game. And Haynesville has been a model of efficiency here in the Superdome, Renee. Last year, a 51-3 victory over Loyola. The year before, a 41-17 victory over Riverside. They are the two-time defending state champs. They visited here in '91. Amos Cormier's bunch from Buras, a 28-21 Tornado win. And U-High, 42-20 back in the '90s. It sums up their Superdome appearances in this decade. Second and goal from the 4. Critton, left-hand side, churning towards the end zone, and he's got his second touchdown of the first half. Tony Critton, the wingback, powering in over the left-hand side, and it's 13-0 Tornado.
That's just power football. Tony Critton following his blocks. Not only the offensive front opening gaping holes, but also Tell and Metters did an outstanding job of leading him into the end zone, following his blocks. It's just tough. They're just beating a tremendous surge from the offensive front from the Golden Tornado, and now lead 13-0.
High snap over the holder's head on the extra point. Quarterback Thomas, who was the kicker, has it. He'll throw the ball for the far corner of the end zone, and it's good for the 2-point conversion.
If things are going your way, everything's working. In fact, it was a snap that went over the holder's head, and Brian Thomas made a 2-point conversion out of a play that was going to be it spelled failure for the Golden Tornado. And now the Haynesville holds a 15-0 lead over DeQuincy with 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go before the halftime break.
J.R. Malone coming down with that throw.
National studies show that students who participate in high school activities, like music, sports, and drama, not only have better grades and attendance, they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over.
You ever hear anyone talk about life like you gotta chew it up and spit it out? You gotta want it so bad you can taste it. You gotta be hungry. If so, Gatorade has one question for you. You want something to drink with that? Because you're gonna be thirsty. Life is a sport. Drink it up.
The kickoff is squibbed and picked up by DeQuincy and Keith Dixon, and their offense will bring it back and put it in play 1st and 10 just across the 30. Let's take another look at that 2-point conversion, Renee, as it ended up as near disaster for Haynesville, but turned up pretty good.
Snap goes wild, and you see Brian Thomas, who's about to attempt the extra point, picks it up. Remember, he is the quarterback. He's rolling left. He's the right-handed quarterback. He stopped for a moment, looks for an open receiver, and finds his target wide in the end zone all alone. Gives the Golden Tornado a 2-point conversion, 15-0. Haynesville over DeQuincy.
Ball at the DeQuincy 32-yard line. Handoff straight into the line, not much running room at all for DeAndre Mallett. He'll be stopped after a gain of 3, 2nd and 7.
What an impressive drive in the last touchdown for Haynesville. 14 plays, 82 yards. They got the ball at their own 8-yard line. 8 minutes and 14 seconds off the clock. The first drive was nearly 8 minutes. Bobby Raytell, 29 yards. Meadows with 47. And Critton with 4 yards. But he's had 2 carries and 2 touchdowns.
Counter play, right-hand side. Roosevelt McCoy. Ball comes loose. Who's got it? DeQuincy will retain possession.
Lady Luck smiled on him just now because the ball did pop loose and he jumped on it. But McCoy hasn't had much running room. But we mentioned he's an all-district player both on offense and defense for 94-95. Breaks a tackle here from Bean. That's not chopped liver, buddy. And you see the ball pops loose into his hands. And McCoy has been bottled up by the Haynesville defense thus far.
Demetric Evans getting credit for that fumble caused. 3rd down. Anderson hands off. McCoy nowhere to go. And that's hard-hitting football when a mouthpiece comes flying out. Marcus Hudson flying up to apply the brakes. And Haynesville will call a timeout with 1:41 left until halftime. Tornado up 15-0. They have designs on another score here before the intermission.
Haynesville leading 15-0. Good game here in the first quarter. The first game of the Superdome Classic.
So what's it going to be, Dion? Football or baseball?
Both, boss.
Both?
Both.
Offense or defense?
Both.
Both?
Both.
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 Pizza Hut. Meat lovers or stuffed crust pizza?
Both.
Both?
Both.
Want it all? Now Pizza Hut offers our lovers line toppings. Meat lovers, pepperoni lovers, or supreme. Piled high in a stuffed crust pizza.
So what'll it be, Dion? 15, 20 million?
Both.
Both. You'll love the stuff we're made of.
Nice shot from the floor of the Louisiana Superdome. Still, after 20 years, Renee, the premier facility, not in North America, certainly in the world. And this is the 15th Superdome Classic here, where all the high schools come to one spot in the state of Louisiana. Coaches from DeQuincy, coaches from Haynesville, and 8 other programs here to apply for 5 state championship games over a 2-day period. On 4th and 5, DeQuincy is forced to punt. Corey Carter back to put his foot into the ball. A high kick that Tell takes over the shoulder at the 25. He'll turn it back up the field, picking up some blocks, spinning at the 40. He's across midfield. Look at a motor down the far sidelines before Jared Anderson finally escorts him out of bounds. A nice punt return on that play by Bobby Ray Tell. A 39-yard kick and a 28-yard return. That's the kind of return yardage you like, Renee.
Missed a good block there by Tony Critton. That sprung Bobby Ray Tell loose. Of course, he did a little bit on his own. He hits that, once he hits that crease and gets outside, he's tough to bring down. And a good run back, 28 yards by Bobby Ray Tell. He's done it all here this evening.
Clock rolling, 1:16 left until halftime. Tell will get the call, left-hand side. He was caught, but then pops back up. He's drilled down just short of the first down marker. A flag comes in. We'll read that.
Question on the play. Bobby Ray Tell, good look at him right there. Boy, he's going through some pain right now, but Bobby Ray Tell, he's running hard here. Tough to get a good shot at. He spins, keeps those feet moving. Only 180 pounds. Good move right there, and he gets a shot to the chops by Jonathan Armstead. Good look at number 84, Frederick Gentry, tight end, and he does an outstanding job at free safety for the Tigers.
Call holding against Haynesville, so we'll repeat first down with the ball just inside the Tornado 50-yard line, down to the 49. Tell remains in the ball game in the backfield with Metters. Quarterback Thomas wants to throw and will complete to Metters on the near sidelines. He'll tightrope his way downfield and get bumped out of bounds at the 39. 54 seconds left until halftime.
Sorry, that little flip to Metters, but he could just about have handed it to him. He was so close to him. Brian Thomas flipping it to Metters, and he knows what to do with the ball. Of course, you don't want your quarterback running more than you have to, but you see Brian Thomas here rolling right. He knows what to do with the ball. About a 5-yard flip right here. Book right into the hands of Jeffrey Metters. Takes down to the sidelines, breaks the tackle, tight ropes, and finally gets knocked out of bounds. Good run here, second down, and about 4 yards to go.
Pass, screenplay, out to the left-hand side. First down reception on the play. Marcus Hudson, one of the college prospects here on this Tornado squad, pulling in the pass, and the clock will stop with 44 seconds until halftime as the chains move.
It was only a matter of time before Marcus Hudson gets into the game. He possesses that 4.5 speed. He's one of the captains. He is being recruited, but as a defensive back by Arkansas and LSU. He also plays track and basketball. What an athlete.
Play action pass, trying to set up to Metters, and well read and well defensed by DeQuincy. Roosevelt McCoy and Michael Scott had that one read all the way as they closed around Metters and dropped him for a loss on the play of 3 yards. Haynesville will spend a timeout with 24 seconds left until halftime, and the Tornado up 15-0.
Good look at Brian Thomas right there as he goes into the huddle and talks to Coach Rhett Franklin and company. But the Haynesville team with a 15-point advantage with just 24 ticks here to go, Gerald. And it's pretty obvious and easy to see why Haynesville has made so many trips to the Superdome Classic. Brian Thomas rolling back here, throwing a pass, but as you mentioned, it was well read by the DeQuincy defense. Good pressure coming up the middle on him and made him rush to pass perhaps a little sooner than he wanted to, and that's why the play did not pick up as much yardage as it was planned to, but much deserved break by Haynesville.
And the DeQuincy defense last week coming up big against Northeast, Renee, in the 21-6 Tiger victory, stopping Northeast on downs 3 times in that ball game. Anytime you can do that, you put yourself in a position to win a high school football game.
Coach Franklin's been through this many, many times. He's been, what a good teacher and coach he's been, and he's touched so many lives throughout his years of coaching.
Second down and plus yardage for Haynesville. Quarterback Thomas wants to pass, throws the ball wide open is Hudson, and he'll be stopped short of the 30 and well short of the first down. The clock will continue to spin with 13 seconds left, and Haynesville out of timeouts, and they're in no hurry to get another playoff, Renee, as it looks like that may be the last play of the first half.
You can see Hecker coming from the blind side, about to unload here on Thomas. Coming up the middle is Leonard Scott. Boy, they really unloaded on him, so he let the ball. He never saw where that ball went, as he was really smashed to the surface as the halftime break comes up.
15-0 Tornado over the Tigers. We're halfway through the AA state championship here at the Louisiana Superdome.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, DeQuincy High School is proud to present the DHS Fighting Tiger Band. Band director for the DHS Fighting Tigers is Beverly Ecker. The drum major is Amber Vincent. Tonight the band will feature the flag line with the Lion King favorite, Hakuna, and the drill team will be featured to YMCA. Ladies and gentlemen, the Haynesville Golden Tornado Marching Band, under the field direction of Myra Taylor. Their selections tonight will be El Gato Fierro, I Feel Good, and 5 on It.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this?
I know a place, a wide open range, where the spirit's free to roam. When Dixie howls away of the West, when Dixie.
Abita Springs Water, your local bottled water company, is proud to offer the Home Team Special. Become a new Abita Springs customer and get your first 10 5-gallon bottles at half price. More quality, more service, more for less. More reasons to switch to the Home Team. Abita Springs Water, more water per gallon.
He's not going to be here tomorrow.
When your team is on the field, our medics will be there, just in case. Every weekend, we'll be standing by at 100 high school and college football games. Acadian Ambulance and Air Med Services, looking after the ones you love.
As an employee-owned company, every day we are acquiring ownership in Acadian Ambulance.
And every day we work harder to make the service even better.
We all try to do more than the job requires.
Because it's our company and our community.
And we want to give our best to both.
We're grateful for the opportunity to serve.
And for the acceptance the people we serve have given us.
Teaching community services is a big part of our business. We appreciate you entrusting your family to ours.
Welcome back to Louisiana Superdome. Gerald Duhon along with Renee Nadeau 15-0 Tornado over the Tigers at halftime. Renee, look at those stats.
Yeah, rushing yards, Haynesville. You can see why they're winning 15-0. 154 yards to DeQuincy, 7. Passing yardage, 2 out of 2 for Haynesville, 4 out of 4 for DeQuincy. But the total yardage, 173, that tells a story. And 11 first downs. Remember, Haynesville went for it on fourth down 3 times and was successful 3 times. Kind of tells you how this game is going as we begin the second half. Haynesville on top, 15-0 in the AA state final.
High end-over-end kick. It'll be gathered in at the 11-yard line. Coming on the far sideline, dodging some tacklers and sprinting up the field across midfield. Marcus Hudson, look at him motor, all the way down to the 35-yard line. A 62-yard kickoff return to start the second half. And Marcus Hudson, I would gather, has not had a lot of opportunity this year to practice his kickoff returns with some of the scores that Haynesville's defense has posted this year.
Well, he did cough with the ball, but you can see a great run back right here. He's looking for the lane, handing the ball in the right hand, put that ball away in the left hand, but he does hit the lane, scoots down the sideline, spins away, breaks the tackle, finally is upended at the 34-yard line, but it's first down for Haynesville to begin the second half.
Counter to Critton on the left-hand side. He'll puncture the 30 and roll down to the 28. Gain of 5, second and 5 for Haynesville as they move from our right to our left here in the Louisiana Superdome.
And Critton really hasn't had much chance to carry the ball. In fact, in the first half, he only carried the ball 2 times. But what successful carries he had, both carries for touchdowns. So Critton really did an outstanding job when he's called on.
Back split behind quarterback Brian Thomas. And whistles will stop this play before it's able to begin. Fairly clean game penalty-wise, Renee, the first half.
Yes, it is. And as the penalty has marched off, but penalties, DeQuincy, 4 penalties for 20 yards, and Haynesville was only hit once for a 10-yard assessment. Fumbles, DeQuincy coughed it up once, and no fumbles have been credited to Haynesville as of yet. They have owned possession, 16-46 in time of possession for Haynesville, 7-14 for DeQuincy, and of course Haynesville up on top, 15-0 with 10:50 remaining here in the third stanza.
Encroachment against DeQuincy. It'll be 1st and 10 for Haynesville. Metters operating left-hand side, cracking the 15, getting down to the 14. He'll be close to another Tornado first down.
You know, Haynesville's not very fancy, just simple handoff, and they play smash mouth football. They come right at you with that good size offensive front. We talked about in the first half, Evans, Harris, Reeder, Livingston, and Bean, and they just come right at you, and with good running backs with Till and Metters, and of course Tony Critton from his wingback position is not only a devastating blocker, but he's a weapon, scoring 2 touchdowns in the first half. But good running here by Metters with a gaping hole on the left side. You see right there Hudson with a good check block, screen block, allows him to get upfield, scoot upfield, and then Hudson scurries down the field for a second block as well.
You could really see Metters operating with that vision you pointed out in the first half as he picked his spots before he would juice the accelerator and charge forward. 1st and 10 for Haynesville. Motion again as Critton, the wingback, went in motion from left to right, and it appears that DeQuincy came across the line once again. And it is encroachment against DeQuincy. That'll cost him 5. It'll be 1st and 5 down to the 8-yard line. Haynesville moving quickly with the opening possession here of the second half. Tornado own a 15-0 lead.
Pretty good turnout for both teams from DeQuincy and Haynesville. And there'll be a lot more people in this magnificent Superdome before the Classic comes to an end tomorrow evening for the 5A championship.
Critton in motion again. DeQuincy almost jumping. Tell with the carry, trying to pick his holes, but credit the Tiger defense closing quickly around him. Eric Fontenot, the leading tackler on this Tiger defensive squad, flying up along with Jonathan Armstead making the stop. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 5.
You can credit Fontenot and Frederick Gentry for turning that play inside and and not allowing Tell to get much yardage. Fontenot, as you mentioned, 72 stops. He started as a sophomore, so he's got some experience. He's responsible for the defensive calls. Only a junior, 6'1", 185-pound Eric Fontenot.
Counter, Tell, left side, Daylight surging for the end zone and into it. Bobby Ray Tell, his first touchdown of the 1995 state championship game.
2 good blocks right before he got into pay dirt, and you'll see it probably on the replay. Bobby Ray Tell following his blockers, 2 pulling guards here, and a good block coming back, a crackback block right there allows him to get inside. That was a good crackback block by number 5. That's Ryan Hammond, allowing him to get into the end zone for the 3rd touchdown.
The extra point is uneventful, up and good by Brian Thomas. 8:50 left in the 3rd quarter. 22-0 Tornado over the Tigers here for the AA state championship game from the Louisiana Superdome.
Just a reminder that kids who participate in high school sports tend to go a little farther than those who don't.
(22-0). The Tornado pitching a shutout here in the Superdome. Their defense allowing only 8 points per game on average over the season. And they've posted 3 shutouts, including a 56-0 besting of St. Frederick in the quarterfinals.
And you can see Tell following his blockers here. Good block as he's following Evans into the end zone. Finally a good block there near the end zone. And Frederick Gentry reaches his 6'6" frame, cannot reach him. Tell with 106 yards thus far on the evening, and a lot of football yet to be played. 22-0 Haynesville over DeQuincy.
Probably Tell's best scoring output this year, Renee, came against Cachado when he had 5 touchdowns in that ball game. 144 points over the regular season for Tell, 12th in the state, regardless of classification. Kickoff coming back for DeQuincy on the reverse handoff. That's Keithan LeBlanc. He'll be escorted out of bounds.
DeQuincy needs to make some noise here in the 3rd period. 8:43 remaining here in the 3rd stanza. Find themselves down 22-0 with a lot of football yet to be played. DeQuincy doesn't throw the ball very much. They run from that double wing and they run from an eye a little bit, one back. But you can expect to see Roosevelt McCoy with his hands on the ball, and Jared Anderson looks to be the quarterback. He's the passer of the 2 quarterbacks.
And they come out with a pro set, double wideouts far on the left-hand side. The handoff to the first back through. Looked like Mallett, the fullback. And it is, as he surges forward, crediting with 2 yards. So far in this game, Renee, DeQuincy with 9 yards rushing. Last week in their semifinal win against Northeast, they rushed 37 times for 230 yards.
You see Jared Anderson finds a seat on the bench as Keithan LeBlanc comes in. He's the runner of the 2 quarterbacks.
2nd and 8. Right-hand side run for McCoy. He's got some daylight. So pick up a first down and skedaddle close to the 50-yard line.
McCoy, pretty tough runner. We mentioned he's made all district in 94 and 95, both on offense and defense, and these guys squares them shoulders, scoots through the hole, hits the sidelines, got good speed, uses that arm, that shield, and he's thrown rudely out of bounds by Jeffrey Metters. Luckily didn't get a penalty on that play, but a good run, good pickup by Roosevelt McCoy.
1st and 10, just inside the DeQuincy half of the midfield stripe. 5-man Tornado front. McCoy left-hand side. He'll puncture the 50 and get down to the 49. Jonathan Jones making the stop right there.
He's a run behind the left side of the line. Gets pretty good blocking up front. behind Chris Blewett and Corey Leday, opening some holes on the left side for DeQuincy. And of course, that big tight end, Frederick Gentry, he's a weapon anywhere he goes. Look for him to be in the open on the end of a couple of passes before long.
Three-step drop, trying to pass in the pocket and harassed and incomplete. The ball rolls. Keith LeBlanc trying to pass under tremendous pressure. Demetric Evans, one of your defensive leaders, pouring through. It'll be third down and long.
That pass intended for Tyrone Powell of the DeQuincy Tigers, incomplete as you mentioned. Third down and 8 yards to go. So DeQuincy really needs to make something happen in this possession.
7:24 left in the third quarter. 22-0 Haynesville over DeQuincy. Play action pass, well protected. Gunning for the ball all the way down the field. Jump ball around the 15. Who came up with it? Haynesville. Intercepted Marcus Hudson, the strong safety, coming down with the pass.
That pass intended for John Mercantile, and just falls a little bit short, intercepted by Marcus Hudson. And I tell you, Marcus Hudson really shows he's got some good coverage skills. As Jared Anderson drops back, zero inning on his target, he does get pressure and gets a little hammered here, a little bump, after the play by Nick Harris. But an intercepted pass by Marcus Hudson gives the ball over to Haynesville at their own 15-yard line with 7:03 remaining here. And of course, the Golden Tornado. You see Jared Anderson again, same play from a different angle. Good shot of a camera angle right here, airing it out kind of deep, but good defensive play by Hudson.
Double coverage he threw that ball into too, Renee. He was well protected in the pocket. Flag on the play for Haynesville as the pass is incomplete. We'll read what the flag is. Illegal procedure, Haynesville. That'll cost him 5. Great look at Bobby Raytel in the spirit of the Haynesville outstanding tailback mode. Of course, before him, Taiwan Kingsby, who was here 3 years ago, absolutely destroying Riverside. And Tell has picked up right where Kingsby has left off, besting Loyola last year and helping Haynesville turn the tide here on DeQuincy through 2.5 quarters.
Looks like Tell has a lot of football left in him as he moves on from here. A senior, and he will play at the next level somewhere. Some lucky school will bag this 5'8", 180-pound prospect.
No tight end, double wideouts, back split, counter left. Metters with the ball, big hole across the 20, rumbling across the 25, and he'll pick up a first down on 1st and 15, a gain of 17, Renee. That's power running right up the middle. I guess when you have to worry about Bobby Raytel, you can't just key on one player. You can see Metters picking his holes, picking his spots, the vision you speak of, and just accelerating down the field.
He runs bigger than his size. He's listed as 180, but he runs much bigger than that. And also credit the up front blocking of Nick Harris, Matt Reeder, and Marcus Livingston, opening some gaping holes for the Haynesville running backs, and they're just chewing up huge parts of real estate here, huge chunks of real estate, and eating up the clock as they go.
1st and 10, movement early. You know, senior quarterback Brian Thomas has been counting hard all evening long, drawing the DeQuincy Tigers off for what would appear to be yet another dead ball encroachment foul, and that's exactly what it is. That'll cost him another 5. Several times DeQuincy has shot across the line. Players have gone into motion, and as we mentioned, credit at senior quarterback number 6, Brian Thomas. Doesn't throw the ball a whole bunch, but he's in charge of that offense when they're out there.
Corey Leday flag with that offsides encroachment.
Tell, right-hand side, nice open field tackle as he's met and dropped. Keith Dixon flying up, figuring out Tell's moves right there and stopping the senior after a gain of 1. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
Keith Dixon, you see, comes up and meets Tell head on. Good tackle right here. Watch, he's going to put the hat on him, lowers his shoulder. That is a good form tackle. Tackling with your shoulder, wrapping up, and Tell's not going anywhere. Dixon is the kind of guy, he plays that monster back. He's a little part defensive back, a little linebacker. He's got 7 interceptions, but he'll do whatever it takes for the best of the team. He'll play anywhere. Only 5'8", 175, a senior, Keith Dixon.
Tell, right-hand side on 2nd down. He'll spin forward and it'll be very close to the first down marker. 4:44 left in the third quarter with the clock rolling 22-0. Haynesville trying to capitalize on the first turnover of this AA state final. It's Marcus Hudson pulling down an errant Jarrett Anderson pass.
Well, you see Dixon, Tell getting the ball, handing off from Brian Thomas. And he knows what to do. He always breaks that first initial surge, initial tackle, but he's met by a host of white jerseys. He's working on his second 100 yards of the game, already exceeding the century mark.
And it is 1st and 10 for Haynesville as Tell's surge brought him that first down. Metters up the middle. He'll gain a quick 6, and it'll be 2nd down and 4. The surge of that Haynesville front line. Bean, Livingston, Reeder, Harris, Evans doing a fantastic job. Nakoma Doyle, the left end, making the stop. First time we've called that sophomore's name this evening.
Very methodical, this Haynesville offense.
2nd and 4. Tell stumbling in the backfield, rolling out a 1 tackle, and he'll get back up to the line of scrimmage, plus 2 more. He's just short of the first down marker. It'll be 3rd down and short.
And that was Dixon coming up from his monster position, playing containment. Watch, he boxes in and does not allow Tell to get outside wide. He boxed in, and this was a good defensive play. He didn't necessarily make the tackle, but watch, he stops him, forces him to go back inside, and that stopped a long run because he had gotten outside of Dixon. He was Katie barred the door. He may have scooted down the sidelines, but a good play by Dixon. Did get credit for the tackle, but he allowed his teammates to make the tackle.
3rd and inches. Haynesville at their own 47. Backs in an eye. Motion right to left. Pitch out. Toss sweep. Tell has the first down. Ball comes loose right around the 49-yard line. Who's got it? DeQuincy says it's theirs. No official word as of yet. Looked like Eric Fontenot was on the bottom of that pile, and Haynesville retains possession of the ball.
Perhaps his knee was down, but the ball did come loose. There's no question about it. But Bobby Raytell perhaps had his knee down, Gerald, and if we get a replay, we'll maybe just see from the camera angle. And we will. Bob Raytell rolling left. Good block from Metters right here, who he himself has 93 yards. But he's sprung loose right here. A good tackle by Keith and LeBlanc, and it looks like he was not down. So to question that call, but the officials a lot closer to the play than we are.
1st and 10. Counter. Metters left side, turning towards blocks. They pick up another first down, puncturing himself all the way down to the DeQuincy 36-yard line. Keith Dixon hauling him down right there, and the chains will move once again.
So with that carry, Metters goes over the century mark. He had 93 yards coming into this carry. And so with that, he now has 107 as Metters, along with Tell, have taken really an outstanding game, both of them. Huge chunks of real estate just 1 minute and 52 seconds ago here in the 3rd period.
Power of the formation is to the right, and that's exactly where Haynesville will run, right to the power of the DeQuincy defensive line. Matthew Marcantel closing in on Tell and dropping him. Gain of 1. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
You know, Bean, one of the better players up front for Haynesville. He's an all-district performer. But you got Bobby Raytell, Brian Thomas, a lot of senior leadership on this Haynesville Golden Tornado team. Jeffrey Metters and Jonathan Jones, a tight end. Just an all-around solid offensive unit.
Counter to the weak side of the line that time, and well-defensed and well-read by number 83, Cicero Heckard, the right end, coming through and making the stop, and it'll be 3rd and long. Real estate for DeQuincy, but they're in 4-down territory here, Renee, as they've proven thus far tonight. They will go for it on 4th down, and they have made it on 4th down.
Yes, they have. They've gone for it on three different occasions and been successful on 3 different occasions. As Haynesville, of course, when you own the clock 22-0 here in the 3rd period with just 30 ticks here to go in the 3rd quarter.
Haynesville 1 of 1 on 3rd down attempts this half. Pitch out, Tell, right-hand side. Picking his blocks, turning his way inside to 30, down to the 29. Will be well short of the first down. Roosevelt McCoy comes up to apply the brakes. That may be the last play of this third quarter as we're ticking inside of 10 seconds. It'll be 4th down and 4. And Haynesville will talk about it on the sideline as the quarter comes to a close. 22-0. Tornado on top of the Tigers. We have 1 quarter left here in this AA state championship from the Dome.
Who that got the lowdown on the black and gold? Who that? Saint Sideline!
Watch Saint Sideline, brought to you by Lennox, Louisiana Gas Service Company, and Paw Paw's Capper City.
Who that tells you straight about the Saints? Who that? Saint Sideline!
For all the Saints action on and off the field, it's Saint Sideline, Monday night at 6:30 on WGNO 26.
When these guys meet the competition, teamwork and communications are the keys to a winning game plan. For reliable communications, these teams depend on Tamba Communications, the authorized Motorola dealer for the New Orleans area. Tamba features the latest Motorola two-way radio technology, like the new Visor that fits in the palm of your hand, yet is more powerful than two-way radios twice its size. When your winning game plan requires reliable communications, call Tamba, the communications team you can depend on.
Haynesville trying to add to their 22-point bulge. Their defense pitching a shutout here in the Dome. It'll be 4th down and a long 3 for the Haynesville offense. And flags come out of the officials' pockets and doom this play before it begins. Looks like tight end Jonathan Jones a little too anxious there, Renee, and it'll come back against Haynesville. That'll cost them 5. It'll be 4th and a little bit longer, but I'm sure Coach Franklin will still go for it.
Yeah, the Haynesville Golden Tornado really not having much trouble. 1 penalty in the first half, but they've shot themselves in the foot a couple of times here in the second half, but really no penalty has really been costly to them. Hasn't cost them a touchdown or anything like that, but it is a 4th down situation, and now it's a 4th and 8. May call for a different approach here as Brian Thomas, remember, he is the punter and place kicker, but he's also the quarterback, so keep an eye on that.
And they will check in their punt team, Renee. On 4th and 8, clean snap. Thomas angling for the coffin corner. Nice, beautiful spiral. That'll bounce at the 3 and into the end zone. It'll be a touchback, and DeQuincy will put it in play. 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
You know, Brian Thomas is quite a story. He took over the reins in the 4th game of the season, and he came back again in the 2nd game of the playoffs. Other than that, he's been a wide receiver, but he's such a competitor and really instilled a spark to that offense that kept him there, and he's done an outstanding job. A 5'11", 160-pound senior Brian Thomas. Good look there at Coach Keith Bonin of the DeQuincy Tigers.
8 years at DeQuincy, Renee, 55 and 37. He brings DeQuincy to the state title game in search of their first state title. On 1st down, McCoy rolling over the right-hand side. He'll pick up a couple of yards before he's drilled down. 2nd down and 8. Jonathan Jones, the strong outside linebacker, which the vernacular of today is known as the Sam. You've got Sam, Mike, and Will. No one says strong side, weak side, and middle anymore, Renee.
Jonathan Jones does a good job from that with that 4.6 speed. Good quickness, good speed. He covers a lot of area from his linebacker spot.
Counter inside, churning his way forward. Not much running room. Is DeAndre Mallet. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
Mallet, not really a physical guy. He's only 5'6", 175 pounds, but he's a tough player. He brings it on every play. He plays with injuries, and you never hear much complaints out of him. He runs real hard, good speed, 4.7 speed, and he complements McCoy and Dixon in the backfield.
Double motion, right to left. Flags on the play as the left-hand side of the DeQuincy line jumped a little early.
Can't have 2 guys in motion, so it's coming back. DeQuincy can ill afford any kind of miscue back and deep in their own territory.
on, guys. Game 15 of the season. You know that play.
Jared Anderson enters the game and returns for further instruction. The penalty was declined, so not quite getting the...
It's 4th down, nonetheless.
Getting the directions here, so now some confusion a little bit, and Jared Anderson will call a timeout for the Tigers.
4th and 6, 10:25 left in the contest. 22-0 Tornado over the Tigers in this AA state championship.
Ready to talk Saints football after every game? Talk to me, Buddy D. Want an honest opinion about the boys in black and gold?
Hey, man, were you watching the same game I was watching?
Hey, Buddy, when you said that last week, I thought you were crazy, man, but you called it right again.
Talk to Buddy D. Nobody else tells it like it is.
Talk Saints football with me, Buddy D, on WWL 870 AM.
That's WWL 870 AM. News Talk Sports Radio.
Hey, gang, what do you think about this motorhome?
That's a good motorhome, Papa.
Okay, good job. Christy, what do you think about this camper?
That's a good camper, Papa.
Okay.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. John, what do you think about this motorhome?
Good motorhome, Papa.
Okay, thank you, John. That's a good motorhome, Papa. Yeah!
Welcome back on 4th and 6. Corey Carter will drop back to his 11-yard line. Get ready to put his foot to the ball. Nice snap. A low, wobbly kick. It'll be gathered in by Hudson at his own 44, reversing the field. Monster block on that play, and that's going to spring Hudson down the near sidelines. He's got the Jets to go, and he will go. A punt return for a touchdown. Marcus Hudson, what a block upfield that sprang him on that play.
That was an exceptional block, and it goes to show to be a successful team on special teams, everyone must cooperate. And what a jarring block downfield by Haynesville.
A 32-yard kick and a 44-yard return for a touchdown.
You're going to see right here a monster block, and what we see, we probably, from this angle, we won't get a chance to see it, but Marcus Hudson takes off around the
right there.
Yes, bang. Oh, he really, I tell you, he cleaned his block. He knocked some of the fillings out on that block, but Marcus Hudson skirting down the sidelines, hits the lane. Another good block right here as well, out at the 10-yard line, and he prances into the end zone for a long touchdown run, and the player is being attended to as Hudson adds another spike in the coffin as Haynesville increases their lead to 28-0 with 10:09. And this may be a better angle right here to see this block. No, it's already been completed. Good block right there. He hits the lane. You see it's a wide open lane for him here. A good block downfield. And Metters right here puts the finishing touch on it at the 10-yard line as Hudson into the end zone for a touchdown. You see a better shot right here, Joe.
The DeQuincy player on the block, who was blocked, still shaking up on the play. There you see the excellent block as he was blindsided, appearing to be number 3, Jonathan Jones, coming around Renee, applying that block.
Yeah, I tell you what, that's kind of opens your eardrums just a little bit.
And we'll take the break. 28-0 Tornado.
Continental Airlines, now among the best in the business at getting you to your destination on time.
Well, the touchdown goes. A nice punt return of 56. We said 44, but credit Hudson with a 56-yard punt return for a touchdown, and those are some of the hardest ones to get, Renee. As the extra point is up and good by Brian Thomas. And that'll increase the Tornado lead to 29-0 with 10:09 left in the contest. We'll take this time out and come back with more AA state championship action.
We'd like to play some of Mike's greatest hits.
crunches during 4th Down on 4. Sunday nights on WWL TV.
You ever hear anyone talk about life like you gotta chew it up and spit it out? You gotta want it so bad you can taste it. You gotta be hungry. If so, Gatorade has one question for you. You want something to drink with that? Because you're gonna be thirsty. Life is a sport. Drink it up.
Welcome back to the Superdome. Thomas's kickoff bounding, and the reverse is faked by DeQuincy and nailed short of the 22 is Keithan LeBlanc. Let's take another look at that excellent punt return for a touchdown by Marcus Hudson. He's coming right into your living room, Renee.
Well, he's number 19 for DeQuincy. Tried to turn his back and hopefully get clipped on the play. I guess there's not much you couldn't do, as Corey Carter kind of turned his back. Good. Look at one of the many excellent cameramen here working with us at Superdome, and he looks like he would pass a sandwich down to him. Those guys really, really work hard. Good camera angles.
Reverse coming back on the far sidelines. That's number 21 for DeQuincy. Tyrone Powell, his first carry of the evening.
Powell, only a junior, he'll be back for another year. A 5'9", 160-pound tailback, wingback. Wears number 21. And I tell you what, even though they're down 29-0, there's no point in putting DeQuincy with just a little over 9 minutes remaining here in this contest, and what appears to be an insurmountable hill to overcome by DeQuincy. I've seen less time on the clock and teams come back. So DeQuincy with an opportunity here at their own 20-yard line.
2nd and 9. Pitch out, ball loose in the backfield. Who wants it? It's picked up by Haynesville. They recover the fumble all the way down to the 8-yard line. Demetric Evans, one of the outstanding defensive players for the Tornado, coming up with another turnover.
And Demetric Evans putting it on both sides of the ball, on defense as an end and offense as a tackle. A pitch here is a little bit behind McCoy, and Evans trailing. Good pursuit, picks it up, scoops it up, tries to get it to the end zone. Not much of an opportunity for a defensive lineman to score a touchdown, especially in a game of this magnitude. To show how DeQuincy has had problems against the Haynesville defense, can only muster 55 yards in total offense on the evening and trail 29-0. DeQuincy at the, Haynesville at the DeQuincy 10-yard line.
Kell, right-hand side, bouncing off his own players, will lower his head and may pick up 1 yard down to the 8. Well, Haynesville unable to convert the last time. DeQuincy had a turnover, a Hudson interception. Haynesville was forced to punt. Now they're in a little bit better position to stick this one into the end zone.
Well, Haynesville with basically the same lineup up front: Evans, Harris, Reeder, Livingston, and Bean. And of course, those weapons in the backfield: Tell, Metters, and Crinton. Crinton with 2 touchdowns to his credit on the evening.
Crinton motion right to left, counter to Metters. He'll turn down towards the 5 and he wrestled down there. The play will be blown dead. 3rd down. Jason Wilson, 6'5", 220, junior defensive lineman, coming through for the Tigers.
Well, they have some weapons coming back to Quincy next year. They lose some players, but they'll get some players back on defense. Especially one of those you just mentioned, Jason Wilson, a 6'5", 220-pounder. Plays basketball. He'll be on someone's blue chip list for 1996. Also, Fontenot will be back for DeQuincy at linebacker along with LeBlanc. He'll be one of the main players for the 1996 DeQuincy Tigers.
Metters crashing through and into the end zone for yet another Haynesville touchdown.
And Metters has really done an outstanding job. He also is over the century mark in rushing along with his running mate, his battery mate, Tell, getting it back from, getting a handoff from a new quarterback, Chris Smith, looking for a hole here, cuts it back. Good steal block for him and allows Metters to get into the end zone. Up the lead, the 35, the extra point upcoming.
Thomas's kick is up and good. 6:51 left in this ball game. A 36-0 balloon payment of Haynesville over DeQuincy here at the Superdome in the AA State Championships. Back in just a moment.
Continental Airlines, now among the best in the business at getting you to your destination on time.
DeQuincy returning the ensuing kickoff after the Haynesville Metters touchdown run, and Keith Dixon able to puncture the 20, but not much more. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Tigers.
And that last drive, 3 plays, 10 yards, 1:44 off the clock. The touchdown by Metters was good. The extra point was successful as well. And now Haynesville holds a commanding 36-0 lead here with 6:41 remaining in the final stanza here in the AA championship.
With the clock in motion as well. Nice look at Jared Anderson, 5'8", 150 senior. Pitch out to Roosevelt McCoy. And that's one advantage of Coach Bonin's alternating quarterback system, where Keithan LeBlanc will come out as much as Anderson will, as there's a flag on the play, as you can see in the top portion of your screen. Keithan LeBlanc, a sophomore, he's got significant playing time this year, Renee, and that'll pay dividends next year.
You know, I want to tell you what kind of speed and what kind of athletes DeQuincy does possess. Their track team was 2nd in the state in AA last year, so they got some weapons and they got some speed coming back. Roosevelt McCoy right here trying to cut it back, and them contained him pretty much and bottle him up. The pursuit catches him. Haven't given him many lanes to run through, but he's done a good job on defense. He's made quite a few stops.
There's Coach Keith Bonin. Holding was the call on DeQuincy. That'll back him up. We'll repeat 1st down. It'll be 1st down and 19. McCoy try the left-hand side, and Bobby Raytell still playing at this point on defense with a 36-0 lead. Right there to make the stop. He's a senior. He wants to savor every last moment of his last high school football game. Of course, we're assuming not including the All-Star game, should he be so selected to play in Tiger Stadium over the summertime when the All-Stars get together.
Well, I'm a little surprised after the performance he's put out that any school has backed off of him, but we've mentioned some of the schools that are looking at him: Tulane, Exeter, Texas A&M, Arkansas, Louisiana Tech, Northwest Louisiana, Northeast Louisiana, and McNeese are still very interested in Bobby Raytell.
Quarterback LeBlanc rolling on the right-hand side. Excellent play by Critton and the rest of the Haynesville defense as it's strung out and stopped for a loss. Hey, it's got to be hard to look at McNeese out this year and think good things. They're, of course, in the semifinals and trying to turn their way towards the finals of the 1AA National Championship.
You see LeBlanc heading for the sidelines, and Critton just strings it out. He makes the tackle as well, but he gets help from the pursuit, and really a good job by Critton. He strung it out and made the tackle as well. So a good defensive effort by the Haynesville Golden Tornado.
3rd and 23. Quarterback Jared Anderson will check back in. Motion left to right. That was McCoy. Anderson, play action pass, tosses the ball over the middle. It's complete. The big number 40, Nakoma Doyle, the sophomore left tight end. He had one catch last week for 13 yards. He hauls this one in as well. It'll be 4th down and 8.
Oh, Doyle moves over from fullback, so he knows what to do when he gets his hands on the ball. Jared Anderson, he's the throwing quarterback, Gerald. As we mentioned, he's completed 41% of his tosses, 6 for touchdowns, 658 yards, and there's no quit in his DeQuincy Tiger offensive team.
Into a punting formation for DeQuincy as Corey Carter gets off a high sky kick that'll bound out of bounds just past midfield. It'll be 1st and 10 for DeQuincy, for Haynesville, excuse me. With 3:43 left into this contest, as Coach Alton Red Franklin is ready to ice state title number 12. The tie John Curtis for the most state titles ever. Who was in a Superdome.
Good look at the crowd there, and Coach Franklin, been around a long time. He's taught an awful lot of athletes, and he deserves all the credit he gets for the team he's had. He'll credit his coaching staff and his players, but he's molded a lot of lives during his tenure at Haynesville, and Haynesville looks certain to, with 3:43 remaining here in the final stanza with 36-point advantage. It looks like they're going to gain the AA championship here in the state of Louisiana.
Quarterback Chris Smith handing off on the right-hand side. Rolling forward is Kenny Ford, and he's finally drilled out of bounds just short of the 15-yard line. Who's to say that Metters and Teller are the only ones that can run?
And Ford gets his opportunity for his day in the sun and makes the most of it with a 29-yard scamper. And I'll tell you, he's only a junior, so he will be back. And look out for opponents of Haynesville next year. They'll see a lot of this. Number 43, Kenny Ford. And you can see an inside handoff right here. He hits the inside hole and just heads for the sideline, breaks a couple of tackles here. And that's a good mark of a good running back. Not how many yards he gained, but good block here as well downfield by the Haynesville team. But not only how many tackles he breaks, but what he gets after the initial contact.
Handoff going the other way is Holbert Watts. He'll crash down for a gain of 2. 2nd down and 8. We're seeing some of the substitutions for the Tornadoes. Cicero Heckard, senior, playing on the right end, coming through to make the stop.
And Watts only a sophomore, so he'll be back as well.
3:10 left in the ball game with the clock rolling.
Watts will be back. You know, sometimes you get yourself in more trouble when you bring in the people that are waiting for an opportunity. They want to show the coach why the coach made a mistake, why they should have been playing a lot more, and sometimes they'll put a serious dent in the defense with opportunity. A premature movement right there.
As we'll unravel it. Well, DeQuincy last year falling in the quarters to University High, U-High 31-14, coming back this year, making it all the way to the Superdome, proving a lot of critics, Renee, wrong along the way.
Yeah, you know, of course, you're going to see some premature movement. Most of it was in the backfield here, but, well, in fact, they say that DeQuincy moved.
Yeah, once again, DeQuincy drawn off by Haynesville. That's happened all night long, encroachment, so it'll be 2nd down and a short 4 for Haynesville. Ball at the 13-yard line. Hand off to Ford, churning on the right-hand side. He wants that state championship end zone and falls just short down to the 2-yard line.
A solid run by Ford, and he's got some, he runs very, very similar to Metters. He reminds me a lot of Jeffrey Metters, so he'll fill that void. And you can see number 43, I guess you could change the jersey to 33, and or 44, I should say, and it'll be quite the same. But he's fighting for every extra step. DeQuincy, a lot of people thought he got in the back door when Pickering, the district champion, forfeited all 10 games for using an illegal player. But DeQuincy showed they deserved to be here as they made it all the way to the state AA finals.
This time into the end zone, Holbert Watts over the right-hand side. He'll taste that sweet honey of a state championship touchdown. 42-0. Haynesville over the Tigers, and it's been hadn't come in big chunks, Renee. It's just been very slow and methodical, even scoring, just like their possessions tonight. Very even-handed and run-oriented. And
well, Haynesville runs right at you. They play smash mouth, and they know what their strength is up front, and they just have overpowered DeQuincy here in the pit.
Thomas, another extra point, is up and good. 43-0 with 2:07 left in this ball game. And the three fingers, of course, meaning the third straight state championship for the Haynesville Tornadoes. A very happy Brian Thomas high-fiving some of the coaches on the near sideline. He'll go out a successful senior, and will go into Haynesville lore as the field general of a 3-time state champion.
You know, you can't put a price tag on what it means to these young men to have played this game. They'll take it with them the rest of their lives, regardless if any of them ever put on a helmet and shoulder pads again. This has been such a inspirational time for both teams, and it's been quite, of course, it's unfortunate one team has to go home a loser or the short end of the scoreboard. But what a tremendous experience it is to play in such a magnificent event, the Superdome Classic.
And Keith Bonin, you see right there from DeQuincy, he may not be happy tonight or tomorrow, but he'll wake up and appreciate the trip here and realize what a great year of work that he and his staff and his players have all put in to bring DeQuincy here to this juncture of the season. And something like this can only help a program. It can only breed championship quality and breed winning as a habit. And I read a quote during the week of one of the Haynesville players saying that, asked why you've won 11 state championships, 2 in a row, going on your 3rd. Why have you won so many state championships? And the answer was, well, winning has just become a habit around here. I don't think one particular class wants to be the class that loses.
Yeah, it's called pressure.
Pitch out on the right-hand side to McCoy as he'll try to sweep right in. Will find the corner as he'll get across the 40. And get across the 45. Kenny Ford making the stop. A gain of 13 on that play.
He broke containment and got outside wide. Roosevelt McCoy really has been bottled up most of the evening, but he does get outside here. Good lead block springs him loose, but he just puts on the afterburners and shows that 4.6 speed, gets outside, and he does get a nice gain, his biggest gain of the evening. As we mentioned, DeQuincy's been bottled up most of the afternoon. 27 yards from McCoy, so he's not much.
1st and 10 from the 44-yard line. Churning straight ahead is fullback DeAndre Mallett. He'll make 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. Clock spinning within 2 minutes. 1:35 left.
Haynesville defense just setting up a lot of new jerseys in there now, so with a 43-point advantage, 1:24 remaining. A lot of new people getting some experience here for the Haynesville Golden Tornado.
Sweeping on the left-hand side and picking up some blocks is McCoy. He'll pick up a 1st down. Josh Beavers finally runs him down. Interestingly enough, the last shutout we had in a state championship game in AA, 26-0 Bureau over Jonesboro Hodge. Amos Cormier brought his team into that game undefeated, and they left undefeated as well.
Good job by a lot of people here this evening, and just glad to be a part of it all.
As we're spinning within 45 seconds and running down the state championship final. DeQuincy will finish this year at 12-3. Haynesville will cap off a perfect 14-0 season and win their 40th consecutive game. That's almost hard to believe that they have won 40 consecutive ball games. In 21 seconds, that stat will be reality.
What a happy Golden Tornado heading back after this game.
It'll be a good trip back to North Louisiana. Turning the corner is Keith Dixon, and he'll be escorted out of bounds by Kenny Ford with 4 seconds left in the ball game.
Done a great job here, Coach Bonin and staff. And again, this would be an experience regardless that his team will never forget having an opportunity to play in this state championship game against a fine Haynesville club. But DeQuincy showed they belonged here and overcame so much adversity. Finish up a 12-3 record, and something really to be proud of and something to go forward from here.
And the final play is D'Angelo Mallet surging forward, and with that, the Haynesville Tornadoes have won 3 consecutive state championships and 12 overall, tying John Curtis for most ever state championships in the history of Louisiana schoolboy prep sports. 43-0, Tornado over the Tigers, the final count here in this AA championship from the Louisiana Superdome. A lot of happy Haynesville faithful, and I'm sure disappointed DeQuincy folks, but they must be proud of the effort of their squad and their team to come into this ball game and wind up a fine season at District 5 2A. Of course, Haynesville coming out of District 1 2A. It seems those districts up north, the 1 districts, are fantastic gauges for prep standards here in Louisiana.
Coach Red Franklin really did an outstanding job with Haynesville. And a lot of happy people down there. Of course, unfortunately, DeQuincy won't share that happiness that Haynesville is ecstatic about right now, capturing their 3rd straight AA championship. But Coach Franklin has done a great job in assembling the staff and putting this game plan together for the AA championship.
Coach Franklin in a position that he is well accustomed to, that is receiving the state championship trophy from Tommy Henry and the LHSAA, where his Haynesville Tornadoes will sit once again on top.
We'd like to thank State Farm Insurance and its Louisiana agents for sponsoring tonight's state championship and individual player award. State Farm provides state championship trophies and awards in all 23 sports of the LHSAA. And now, for the presentation of awards at midfield. Representing State Farm Insurance, State Farm Agent Matthews of Lake Charles, Farm Agent Sulphur, Gerald Law of Ruston, State Farm Agent Gene Coleman, going past. Also in the possession, Mr. Billy Calvert, Prince and on the executive committee. And now the 1995 state runner-up, presented by State Farm Agent Scotty Matthews Charles, goes to DeQuincy High School. Head coach, Bonin, principal, David Pankin. The next award is the State Farm Outstanding Player Award First to DeQuincy High School. The award is presented by State Farm agent Carl Vincent, and it goes to number 84, Fred Gentry. The next award is the 1995 Baden official game ball. And is the official ball LHSAA sports. The award is presented by Mr. Billy Calvert of Delhi High School, principal and a member of the LHSAA Executive Committee. It goes to Haynesville head coach Red Franklin.
This is an honor, Billy. Yeah, this is an honor. Great honor. Great honor. Great honor.
The next award is the State Farm Outstanding Player Award going to Haynesville High School, presented by State Farm agent Gerald Law. Goes to number 4, Bobby Kell. The final award is the State Farm State Championship Trophy presented by Gene Coleman, State Farm agent from Claiborne. Goes to the 1995 Division Class 2A State Champion Haynesville Golden Tornado. Head coach Red Franklin, principal Steve Smith. Louisiana High School Athletic Association making these team and individual player awards possible. Thank you, State Farm. Let's go, let's go, let's go. The LHSAA invites everyone to stick around for the Class 3A State Championship game coming up next.
Haynesville 43-0 shutout victory here at the Louisiana Superdome to take the AA state championship here. And Renee, it was all Golden Tornado tonight.
Yes, it was. In fact, you look at the stats, Haynesville with over 306 yards, 300 yards for the total offense, only 111 DeQuincy could muster. Time of possession, it was unbelievable. 31 minutes for Haynesville, 17 minutes for DeQuincy. And I tell you the score, Haynesville scored in every quarter and came up with 43 points. It wasn't even close, 43-0.
Bobby Raytel, your most valuable player, very deserving. He had 126 yards on the evening. Jeffrey Metters as well ran very well tonight, 115 yards. It was a very methodical ball control offense. They even had a punt return for a touchdown, did Haynesville tonight. Alton Red Franklin, congratulations to him and the rest of his squad. 12th state title. That is something very extra special in any sport, much less the sport of football in a state like Louisiana where it's so competitive.
3 state titles in a row, 11 altogether. And is it 12 altogether?
12 altogether.
12 titles, 11 coming into this game. So really, Haynesville did their homework. They hit on all cylinders. They showed what kind of team they were, and they own the AA state championship for the 1995 season. And they have been weapons coming back for 96, so look out for the Golden Tornado.
43-0, the final count. Haynesville defeating the DeQuincy Tigers here at the Louisiana Superdome for the AA state championship. For Renee Nato, I'm Gerald Duhon saying so long, everybody.